Well, that obviously is the Hollywood version of Titanic, the movie. This, though, you're going to see is real. It actually comes from this tin, this newsreel tin, and it shows the Titanic in Belfast shortly after she was completed, and the doomed Edward Smith on the Titanic, the ship, Olympic, the year before.
Smith, of course, and with us now Roger Hardingham, who's made a documentary with that new film, the old film really, but newly discovered, and Renee Mason, who found it in the back of her shed. Hello to you both. Hello, Renee.
Morning, Renee.
And Renee, it was your husband, wasn't it, Archie?
Yeah, Archie.
He used to work in a cinema.
That's right. Well, he left school when he was 13 in 1913.
Yeah.
Got a job at the local cinema in the projection room.
Yeah.
And that was then when he was 15. That was 3 years after the Titanic sank. They were sorting the old films
newsreels
and newsreels that they had to get rid of, and he used to collect a lot, you know.
Did he?
And he thought, well, he couldn't let that go and be destroyed, the Titanic. So we gave £0.50 for it.
£0.50.
That was 12.5 pence now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And he kept it all those years.
And you'd sort of, you'd heard him mention it, so you knew it was around, but you'd never actually seen it yourself.
We got married in 1931, that's right. And then about probably 40 years ago, we were talking about old films, and I said, we still got that old Titanic film. Yes, I have, he said, might come in useful someday. And I never asked him where it was then, but he kept everything in the shed, all old posters all about the old cinemas and...
So you'd never seen the film then? You'd never seen this footage?
No.
No?
No.
Obviously when the movie, Titanic the movie, was released last year, it brought it all back to you, didn't it? You thought, ah, the old film, the old film.
That's right. I did, yeah, and I thought, I have to have a look for that. Went in the shed, couldn't find it anywhere. I asked my son David, I said, go and have a look in the shed, see if you can see that old Titanic film. He came, no, he said, Dad must have got rid of it, but I knew he wouldn't. I knew he wouldn't, but I had given up. I thought, so I'm not going to look anymore.
Yeah.
And then the film came to Kettering in the Odeon, and I thought, I'm going to have another look, I'm going to have another look. So I went, and it was on a Saturday. Couldn't find it, I said, no,
leave it.
Finished, I'm not going to do it anymore. And as I was going to bed out loud, I said, Archie, if only you could tell me where you put that Titanic film. And, you know, I must have been dreaming in the night. And I heard this voice say, it's in the shed under the bench. Plain as anything. I expect I was dreaming, but I got up early on the Sunday morning, but my first thought, I must go out to that shed.
So and you went?
I went to the shed, and I had to move a couple of garden chairs before I got to the bench, and I looked, and nothing on top, only some hammers and screwdrivers and that.
Yeah.
And there's a shelf under the bench, and I cleared that, nothing. But from the shelf to the floor of the shed, there was about that, just room enough to get my hand and arm in. So I got... I got...
No, it's all right.
Go on, carry on.
Carry on, Renee. You put your hand in.
Oh.
You put your hand in, you found it, this rusty old tin.
I got on my hands and knees, right underneath, and I brought that rusty tin out.
And there it was.
And it took me a long while to open it, but...
Was it labelled? Did it say anything about Titanic on it? Did it have a label on it saying Titanic?
Well, I suppose it was when he first got it.
But not now. So been in there since 1915, 1916, all those years.
1912.
1912 was shot, of course.
86 years.
Yeah, that is a wonderful story. I mean, it's a real Titanic story, isn't it? I mean, it's fantastic.
And
so
Rogers made a video.
You sort of restored the film, really. Was it in good condition?
It was in excellent condition, because it was old nitrate stock, which actually is explosive, so we couldn't bring it in today, for instance. Otherwise this studio disappear.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Very
It's very unstable stock, so it's in a vault in somewhere else in London.
So you've transferred it to video?
Yes, indeed.
This is the video, the
That's
lost film
right.
of the Titanic. What, now, we'll see some clips in a second. What's on it that we haven't seen before, or we haven't seen for 80-odd years?
Well, the important factors are that right the way through they're pretty rare shots, but these represent the only moving images of the Titanic. Nothing else has come to light. Nobody filmed it leaving Southampton, for instance.
So the footage that we've seen on news programmes that have been talking about the success of the film is not of the Titanic,
No,
it's of the Olympic.
The year before.
The Titanic sister ship.
That's
and as
right.
we said in that link earlier, Captain Smith there was actually filmed on the Olympic the year
that's
before.
right. Exactly.
So anything you've seen, or we've seen on the telly,
That's
all
right.
our lives, saying, here's the Titanic, it's rubbish.
not.
It's
Absolutely
not. It's
rubbish,
the Olympic,
yes.
which is a virtually identical ship.
Exactly. It was precisely identical. And the Titanic, of course, wasn't famous until it had sunk.
No.
It was just another liner, although it was a big one, of course. In those days, but it wasn't famous until
So
that time.
everything on this video then, but there are some shots of the Olympic, but most of it is actually for the first time. It's
Yes.
called The Lost Film of the Titanic.
Yes.
It's the original footage from 1912.
That's right.
Well, let's look at some clips then. What have we got?
We've got, well, can you talk us through this?
Yes,
Because
certainly,
we've not
yeah.
seen some
Roll
of
the
them for the
first one.
first time. We have a look at the first. Now,
Well, those are the actual ice flows
That's
in
right.
the area.
This is a photographer went out about 2 days later and actually filmed the ice flows. The Titanic would have gone down around this area.
Terribly
It might even be the same ice
Could
flow.
be the same ice flow,
For
couldn't
all
it?
we know, yes. Yes.
It's
Very eerie.
very eerie.
Very eerie.
It just emphasises the madness of ploughing into that ice flow. That
Now
ice
that's the rescue ship, Carpathia.
and those are the crew of the
These are some of
Titanic.
the crew off. Now that gentleman on the right was actually at the wheel of the Titanic when it sank.
Really?
He had to turn it to starboard quickly. Now these are the officers at the White Star Line in Broadway. Now this is the ship going out with coffins on there, as you can see, to go and collect the bodies about a week later.
Those that they've actually got. The crew shot there that we saw, should we see that again actually? Because it went through very, very quickly, didn't it? The crew shot that we saw of the lads all standing together in their jumpers.
Yes.
Amazingly good quality film, isn't it?
It's remarkable, and considering it was his really scheduled